The very thought of God occurred to you only because you saw creation, isn't it?
I want to talk about a question that has intrigued and perplexed humanity for centuries. Does God really exist? As someone who is not particularly religious, and who hasn't had much formal religious education beyond Sunday school over 50 years ago, I approach this question with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. I remember Sunday school was just a place my dad sent me on his only day off. I used to think he just wanted a break from us 5 kids. Now, in my late 50s, I find myself pondering this question more deeply. Let's consider the scientific principle of Newton's law of action. And reaction for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Applying this to the moral landscape of our world, if there is evil, and I think we can all agree there certainly is, then there must be an equal and opposite force of good. Could this force of goodness we see in a certain kind of person be what we call God? I have often imagined 2 islands, each inhabited by survivors of a shipwreck. On one island, the inhabitants are atheists who live without any particular moral guidance, driven by survival instincts alone. On the other island, the people believe in God and adhere to principles of kindness, compassion, and hospitality. When a new survivor reaches these islands, their experiences will be drastically different. On the island of believers, the survivor is welcomed, cared for, and treated with respect. Even if God is merely an idea, the belief in God fosters a community of goodness. This leads me to an intriguing proposition. Even as a concept, the idea of God can be incredibly powerful. If the belief in God inspires people to do good, to act with kindness and compassion, then in a very real sense, God exists. The collective belief in a higher power manifests as a force of good that counters the evil in the world. Skeptics argue that it's foolish to believe in an invisible, impersonal God without empirical proof. And yet, believers will tell you that while God's existence can't be scientifically proven, the weight of evidence makes belief not only possible, but also compelling. Consider the countless acts of kindness, the moral progress of societies, and the sense of purpose and community that belief in God brings to millions around the world. In my own journey, I've come to see that whether or not God exists as a supreme being might be less important than the impact the belief in God has on humanity. If believing in God encourages people to be better, to strive for goodness, then God, in some form, is real and essential. In conclusion, can we know for sure that God exists? Perhaps not in the empirical sense, but the concept of God, as a force of good that balances the evil in the world, provides a powerful framework for understanding morality and human behavior. It makes us question the very nature of existence and our role within this beautiful planet that we all have the privilege to inhabit. The question of God's existence has been approached from various angles, each offering different forms of evidence and arguments. While proof is a fact that demonstrates something to be real or true, evidence consists of information that might lead one to believe something to be real or true. In the context of the existence of God, the distinction between proof and evidence is crucial. While proof in the strictest sense a fact that conclusively demonstrates something to be true is elusive in metaphysical questions like the existence of God, the weight of evidence across various domains suggests his existence. This evidence, though not conclusive proof, points towards a coherent and plausible case for belief in God.